Good morning from La Posa South in Quartzsite, Arizona. This is a long-term visitor area. I bought a 2-week permit for $40. There's my car. I didn't sleep in my car. Check this out. Springbar Classic Jack 100. Yes, it is windy, and it's going to get worse. Yeah, so here I am sitting in my new Springbar 10 by 10 Classic Jack 100 tent. Yeah, I've gone through multiple tents. I thought I loved my Gazelle. It's just a little small. This guy's a little bit bigger, and it's better suited for strong winds because the design is such that once you've got it staked down, it can withstand like 50, 60, 70 mile an hour gusts, supposedly. Don't know that I want to test out in that, but the 20 to 35 miles an hour winds we've been having, it's doing great. Okay, that's the back side of the tent. It has a giant window, which of course is shut. It's a real mess. I mean, I haven't made my bed. I got my blankets and my coats piled on it. It's got one vent there, another vent on the other side, and I was sitting in this chair just now. I just piled my stuff in here last night and haven't organized it, and probably will organize it later, so my table's full, and I brought in multiple boxes that were in my car. I'd like to say that I slept in this tent last night. I stayed in it all night. Truth be told, I didn't really sleep. It was windy AF. It was noisy. You can hear all that noise. That's the zippers rattling and just the sound of the canvas flapping. So I didn't sleep well. I could easily have gotten up and gotten into my car, but I just wanted to give it a night because it was nice being on a cot. And yes, I was warm enough. In fact, I was sweating because I put a sleeping bag on top of my warm sleeping bag, and that was just way too warm. I had to get up and take one of them off and take my pajama pants off. I was cozy warm in my mummy sleeping bag used as a blanket. It's rated like 20 degrees comfort for women or something, and it wasn't nearly that cold. Tonight's going to be down to freezing, so we'll see. I might actually sleep in my car tonight so that I don't have all the sounds of the flapping and stuff, or I might just take my nighttime CBD and maybe that'll help me sleep. Or I might just sleep in my car. We'll see. Yeah, so tale of 4 tents. I've shown various tents that I've had over the past few years. I haven't had YouTube that long, but I've shown them pretty much on YouTube. I don't know if I ever showed the bell tent. I have to go back and look. It's a very small one, too small. Then I had that teepee tent, which I don't even think I've released the video yet, but I have a video of that tent being destroyed in a Minnesota rainstorm. Then I have the Gazelle. I still have the Gazelle T3X. Great little tent, but it won't fit a cot. It's just, the cot I bought is just too long. It'll touch the sides, and you can't have things touching the sides or the water will come in. And there was a little issue with the floor leaking. I had a little tear in the floor, which, of course, I taped that up. I don't want to use my tents in heavy rain, but I did try the Gazelle in heavy rain, and the top didn't leak. It's a good tent, just a little small for my needs, and it's very bulky and long because it's one piece. The poles are incorporated into the tent. The hubs are not suited for wind, so in a place like Quartzsite, even if you stake the hubs out, there's a danger that a wind gust would pop those hubs in. So after doing research, wanting to get yet another tent, I needed something that I could stand up in that was big enough for a cot. Looked at all the polyester nylon tents. I read reviews of hundreds of tents, literally. Could not find one that I liked that wasn't going to leak in the wind or fall apart in the wind, leak in the rain, fall apart in the wind. And so I thought about the canvas tents. And I didn't want to buy one to begin with back when I first started getting into tents. I mean, aside from the canvas bell tent. But as far as the Springbars and Kodiaks, I knew they were very heavy, and I thought I wouldn't be able to handle them and that they would be hard to put up. A friend of mine is a little older than me, and she has a 10 by 14 Kodiak, so bigger than mine, bigger than my Springbar, and she manages it. She separates the poles and the stakes and the canvas, and she's able to manage it. So I ended up getting the Springbar. I got the Classic Jack, which is made in China. You can get Springbars that are made in the US, but they cost twice as much. I can't afford $1,300 tent when I want to eventually get some kind of an RV. So I got the $650 Classic Jack 10x10, which has got the same kind of warranty, and it's performed great so far in strong wind and a little rain. It's, oh boy, it's noisy. You can hear it. But these are bent to move like an earthquake building. Flip it around and you can see it go. The little gear loft, you can see how everything's shaking. But it's not going anywhere. So I'm able to separate out the canvas and the poles, and I'm using my own stakes. I bought drillable stakes, and my dad gave me a ratchet driver for Christmas. That's why I asked for, so that I could use the drillable stakes, because hammering them's hard. Now my friend said I should still get a heavy hammer, and once they're drilled down, hammer them in even further, just to be safe. So I'll be adding a good hammer. The one I have is kind of small, but I'll get a heavy one. And it's going to be great. I mean, as far as I can tell, I mean, I've only had it for a day, or I've had it for several days, but have just tested it out for the first time today, last night. But I think I'm going to love it. Let's talk about my tent sleeping situation. I could not sleep in my car without bringing everything into the tent and having it set up, because I brought so much stuff with me, including my cot, and my cot is ridiculous. It's just one that the legs fold underneath and then it folds in half, so it's very bulky, and it has a pad. It's, I think, just a cheap Coleman one, $100, fairly cheap compared to some of the cots out there. And I bought an X-Ped Mega Mat to put on top of it, since my daughter had punctured my thermarest that I couldn't repair. And bringing all that along, there's no way I could sleep in my car, so I'm gonna have to second guess the cot. I mean, I like the idea of being off the ground, especially when it's cold out like it is in Quartzsite, because, you know, even with a good R value, the cold's gonna just come up through that sleeping pad, and getting up and down is hard. It's nice being able to get up and down from a cot. The reason I got this one, I read reviews of cots. I read reviews of many cots, expensive ones, camping ones, ones that you can take apart into multiple pieces so they don't take up much room. A lot of those are really hard to put together, and I've heard people, especially women, saying they literally, when it comes to the final piece that has to snap into place, they don't have enough strength to get it to work. And I thought, okay, folding cot, easy enough, but it is bulky. So we'll see what I do. Mega Mat is bulky because I just had it blown up in my she shed, and my daughter was sleeping on it on top of the bed in there. But instead of getting all the air out and rolling it up into its bag, which is still a pretty big bag but would take up less space, I just threw the whole thing in on top of everything else and drove with it here to Quartzsite. That's not going to work on road trips where I want to sleep in the car. Imagine when I go on, like to Nevada, for example, yeah, I might want to be in campgrounds most of the time, but there may be times when it's going to rain hard during my time there, and I may not want to deal with a wet sopping canvas tent, and I may have to break the tent down. Or I might just want to be able to sleep in my car for a night at a road, you know, either boondocking or at a rest area or something. Still thinking of ways to manage all this gear. You know, the tules are hard on top of the car. First of all, I have a moon roof and a sun roof, and I don't want to block it. And second of all, I'm short. And yeah, I can get a step. I'm going to be the one who steps backwards or falls off and breaks something, a leg or an arm. So I don't want to do that. I already have a hitch receiver, so it wouldn't be hard to get something. But I would want something that's lockable to help prevent theft. So we'll see. I mean, if I could actually load a lot of my gear into a lockable waterproof hitch box, that might work. We'll see. Now for Quartzsite, I'm only like less than 5 hours from home, so I just threw as much stuff in my car as possible and got here. My friend showed me how to set these tents up. The instructions for the Springbar are horrible. You come with a so-called field guide. There's no, it just gives you a few simple steps, but it doesn't tell you how to do any of them. So she showed me how everything works, so next time I should be able to put it up very easily. Yeah, the wind is still crazy. I decided to come in the tent and lay down for a little while. Can you hear it? I will, if it doesn't die down, I'll be sleeping in my car tonight just so that I can get some sleep. The tent's gonna stand up, but it makes a lot of noise. It's several days later. I'm sitting in my car charging my phone while I edit this video. I'm gonna go ahead and end it, but I did not sleep in my car. I stayed in that tent all night. I didn't quite sleep, but I stayed in it all night, and I've slept in it for several nights, and I love it. So I'll be filming some more, and well, I've already filmed some more of my stay here in Quartzsite, and I'll share that video very soon. I'm going to send some of these like before I finish editing my last road trip videos, so you can see what Quartzsite is like right now. The RTR is going on, and it is getting busy here. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Please go ahead and give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. If not, that's okay. I'll see you in my next video.